What's up, Tempo friends? It is Coach Clarence, and I am super excited to have you here for this 30-minute full body build. We're calling this one Press with Power. You probably guessed it from the name. We're going to be focusing on some press movements today. I want you to think chest and shoulders. Those are going to be our two main muscle groups. We'll start off with a big set of chest presses, and then we'll work our way down the rest of the body, or up if you're talking about the shoulders. But before we do anything, as we always do, wide stance with those feet, hands by your side, big deep breath in, big exhale out. All right, let's start to warm up the body, and since we are going to start with chest presses, let's take it down to the ground, and here's what I want us to do. We're all gonna get into a modified high plank. What is that? I just want you to think about having those knees on the mat. I want you to think about having those shoulders over the wrist. Keep the torso long. I want you to go ahead, give me one push-up, bring it up, then tuck those toes. Find a nice little downward dog. Press those hands into the mat. Feel that stretch in the shoulders. If you need to bend the knees, feel free to do so. Bring it back to that high plank. Drop the knees. Modified push-up. Tuck the toes. Hike those hips back. Feeling that stretch in the shoulders. Oh, if you can, try to kiss those shoulder blades together in the back. Final one, drop the knees. Modified push-up. Last time, find that pike position or that downward dog. Feeling that stretch in the shoulders for 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Now we will be spending a lot of time on our back, but I want to make sure that our core is feeling supported. So let's get that spine feeling good with some cat-cow. So big arch in the back. Hold it for 3, 2, 1. Breathe it out as you bring it down to that cow. 3, 2, 1. 2 more. Big arch up for 3, 2, 1. And arch it down for 3, 2, 1. Big arch up for 3, 2, 1. Last one right here. Take it down for 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Now stay in this tabletop and just wiggle it out. This is something I learned from Coach Jeremy. Sometimes we get some tension in our body. So just give your body what it needs. And let's stay down on the mat because that's where we're going to start today. Let's talk about round 1. So as I said in the intro, we're going to start with some chest presses today. Now we're going to go through this chest press a few times, but listen very carefully. To get us started, we're going to start with a low weight. Reason being, I want to make sure that we're feeling warmed up because our goal today as we go through this is when we get to our final set, we're going to go for the lowest number of reps, but that will be our heaviest weight used. And that is just for this first round. So again, we're going to start with this chest press. We're going to go through it, starting with a low weight, higher reps. Then we'll gradually start to add on some weight as we go through this. And then we'll end with our heaviest set, but we'll only be going for about 6 to 8 reps. The reason I want to do this is called progressive overload. And as we're building through this program, specifically focusing with the chest, one of our larger muscles in the upper body, I want to make sure that you understand that as you're working out, this is how you start to know, oh, I'm getting stronger because I can add on more weight. I can add on more weight. And even if the reps go down, as long as you're able to push that weight with power, you're good. So again, start with a light weight. I want you to think about 10 reps. We're going to be going 40 seconds on the clock. Here is a demo. Weights are going to be over your shoulders. Now, when you bring the weights down, elbows go out, weights stay above the elbow, big press to the top. You're ready? Take those weights, roll it back. 40 seconds on the clock. And think about this first set as a little warm-up set. So you notice I only asked you for 10 reps. The weight is light. When you get to reps 8, 9, and 10, you should feel like you could still do about like 3 to 4 more. But I want you to keep it slow. I want you to see if during this 40 seconds, when you pull the elbows out and you bring the weight down, can you feel those muscles in your chest kind of stretch across the chest? And then when you press up, ease and flex. Good. Try to give me one more rep right here if you can. And rest it up. Feel free to roll it up, drop the weights. Again. I want you to check in with yourself. Once you got to that final rep, which should have been rep number 10, did you feel like you could have gone for rep 12, 13, 14, 15? If the answer is yes, your weight is exactly where it needs to be. Now, if you got to rep 10 and you were like, whoo, That was heavy. Pause the screen. Lower the weight. We'll get up there, but again, to get that progressive overload, the main word there is progressive. We're gonna progressively add on that weight. Now, we're gonna go through this again. This time, let's speed up the pace a little bit, keep the weight the same. Let's try to go for 12 reps here, but I want that same feeling. Rep 11, 12 should feel fairly easy. Let's go. So the last time we were going really slow, feeling that muscle stretch across and flex. Now let's start to get some fatigue setting in. We're gonna try to add those extra 2 reps that you knew you could have done last time, but you were going slow. You were warming it up. Now that we're feeling a little bit warm, just speed up the pace only by like 1 second. I don't want you to go super fast. Again, if you're giving me 15, 16 reps here, I like where your weight's at, but slow it down, slow it down. Good, final 3 seconds. Try to give me one more. Oh my gosh, you crushed that. All right, team, we're feeling good. We're feeling warm. We're understanding the muscle. Let's do ourselves a favor. Let's start to add on some weight. So here's what I want to do. We're going to start to add on some weight, and I want you to think about now 8 reps. We're going to shorten the time as well too. We're going to go for 30 seconds. So if you need extra time, again, listen, listen, listen. If you need extra time to change your dumbbells, it's cool, friend. Just pause that screen. Hopefully by now you're all Tempo Pro, so you understand how to change these weights fairly quickly. But get those weights set up. Exercise is going to stay the same. Here's what's different. Weight is heavier, meaning reps are gonna go down. We're only looking for 8, and our time is going to be shorter. To give you a little bit more background info on why we're doing this. If you've ever, anybody used to go to the gym out there? Yeah, or anybody used to work with the trainer in person? Hopefully when you went to work with your trainer, or if you've ever just been at the gym, you've just been, gaze and see what everyone's doing. You'll notice, especially those people who are going to lift heavy that are working for strength, they start low. They'll do like 1 or 2 little warm-up sets to make sure they're not going to injure themselves and make sure the body's ready. But then they'll slowly start to put on plates on that bar or slowly start to raise the weight. That's what we're doing here. So I want you to think about this set coming up as one of our first true strength sets, okay? So roll it back. We're going for 8 reps. Let's go for it. So again, we did those first 2 sets and we're focused on pace, right? I want you to think about that first set when we were going for about 4 seconds. That's what I'm looking for here. We're just looking for 8 reps, full range of motion, no halvesies. There's nothing that grinds my gears more than seeing something like this. No, bring those elbows down, big press. Finish it up, and rest, rest, rest. All right, team, take this rest. Answer this question. You can answer it out loud or you can answer it to yourself. How did you feel when you got to rep 7 or 8? What I want you to feel is that when I got to rep 7 or 8, I probably could have done maybe 1 or 2 more. Maybe 1 or 2 more. It wasn't my max, it wasn't my PR, meaning personal record, but I feel like I could have done 1 or 2 more, but it did feel like a challenge. Now, if it wasn't that, feel free, pause that screen, maybe take a little bit of weight off because we still have a heavier set coming up. But if that felt good, we're gonna do it again. Everything's the same. Going for 8 reps. Ready? Here we go. Good, breathing it out. And again, the goal is to get to rep number 8, right as the time is expiring, and to feel good about that. What good means is, yes, it felt manageable, and it felt like I could have done 1 or 2 more reps if I had to push it out. But stick with 8, because we got a big, heavy set coming to close this out. Final one right here, and rest, rest, rest. All right, team, great job, you're crushing it. We got 1 more set of chest presses right here, okay? And I want this to be the heaviest press. So for all of you who are maybe loading the weights up early and you were like, I just want to push, load them back up now. And here's what we're looking for. We're looking for 6 to 8 reps. This is a Coach J set. This is a true bodybuilder set right here, meaning I'm not going to get a ton of reps in here. It's going to be heavy. I might make some real not cute faces, some of these right here. But what I'm focusing on is making sure, and I don't know if you know this, all right? This is going to be We're gonna call this fitness graphic. It's not that bad. But how you build muscle is what happens is as you're going through the workouts, the muscles stretch and flex, we talked about that, but the muscles are tearing, they're ripping. That's what you're doing when you're working out, focusing on shit. You're ripping that muscle. And what happens during your recovery, which is why it's so important, is that muscle then builds back up. And if anyone's ever seen a full season of Grey's Anatomy or taken a science class or health, you know that when our tissues build back up, they build back stronger, they build back rougher. So that's what's gonna happen during this set. We're gonna tear those muscles, but we're gonna build them back up stronger. So weight should be heavy. This is our final weight of chest presses. Let's go ahead. We're gonna roll it back. Whew, you feel it? Give me 6 to 8 reps, let's go. Good, make sure you're breathing. If you need to rest, rest at the top. That's why we warmed up those shoulders with those down dogs. If you're working with me, this is number 4. I'm on target to get like probably 7, but if you're making that noise, you know you're at your max. That's 6 for me. Just to impress you, I'm gonna do one more. And rest, ooh, rest, rest. All right, team. We're gonna get the weight set up for round 2, but as we're doing that, I got some questions for you, okay? We're working through this program, we're in our 2nd week. Who felt like they got to rep 6 there, and you were like, Coach Clarence, I almost called you out your name? Yeah? Good, that's exactly where you should be. Who was able to only get to 5, or maybe not even get to 6 before you had to like drop the weights? I don't want you to think that you didn't do it correctly. I think that's great. Now, you have a goal. You know what weight you want to work up to be able to get to that 6 reps. We always work at tempo and we go for those 8 rep maxes, especially if you've ever taken a training plan. That's something we focus on. But again, when we're talking about those bodybuilders that like Arnold Schwarzenegger, true strength building work, 6, getting those 6 reps, and trust me, I've been there when I'm like trying to PR today. I'm trying to hit a new record. When you get to that 6th rep, that's when you know, okay, that's that strength building zone. So feel good about your progress that you've made. And again, thanks for trying something new. Speaking of new, we got a new round. Now we're going to press with the shoulders. So we're gonna go same type of set, straight set. We're gonna focus on an Arnold press. Now the weights should definitely be lighter because we're working with our shoulders and our biceps. You keep resting and changing those weights. I'm gonna demo this exercise for you. So the biggest difference between an Arnold press and a shoulder press is, with this Arnold press, our biceps are going to stay engaged. And how that works is, you'll see I have these weights right here at the bottom. This is our starting position. And you'll notice, we don't have the zoom in feature yet, but it's coming, I promise. You can see my bicep is engaged because of how I'm holding the weight. Now you'll do this facing forward. When you press, turn those weights out, palms will face forward, and then on the way down, control it back to that starting position. Let's grab those weights, palms face you, 40 seconds. I'm just looking for 10 reps. Now, whenever we're pressing weight overhead, safety and control are our big goals. So I want you to make sure as you turn them out, when you get to the top, notice where my ears are, right by my biceps. I don't want those dumbbells to be in front of you or behind you. If you feel like you're leaning back, feel free, you can always stagger that stance or soften those knees, squeeze the glutes, engage the core, try to stack everything on top of each other. And rest it up. Whew. Now, if you're feeling your shoulders and you're like, oh my gosh, that was only 1 set, I know I have 4 sets of that. Why are my shoulders already fatigued? I want you to remember, when we were in that chest press, what were you holding those weights over? Your shoulders. So your shoulders are primed. They're feeling good going into this. If anything, the new muscle we're working here is the biceps. And some insider knowledge, triceps is in that chest press. So I just wanted to make sure we had a matching set. You know what I mean? Back looks as good as the front or back. If you're saying hello or goodbye, I'm still impressed. So making sure those arms are looking good. But if you need to, as always, feel free to adjust the weight. Pause the screen. I'll be here when you get back to adjust it. We have 3 more sets of this. Everything's gonna stay the same. 40 seconds on. Looking for 10 reps with control, okay? Now, take a deep breath, grab those weights, pull them up. It's a little bicep curl. And let's work. Bring it down. Good. If you're thinking about pace, feel free to work with me. I'm exactly where I need to be. This is number 4, which means 16 seconds have gone by. Look at that math. This is number 5 and I'm halfway. And the timer's halfway as well. So let's keep that pace. The staggered stance is always there if you need it. Also, squeeze those glutes, engage that core if you need it. 2 more. Breathe, final one. You crushed it. Excellent job. Drop it down. Whew. Go ahead, take that rest. Again, if your shoulders are feeling fatigued, if you're finding yourself here, and we touched on this in set number 1, if you're pressing and you're giving me this right here, like kind of like the nene, don't do that. I want you to be just like this. If Coach Clarence snuck into your living room or your garage or your workout room, wherever you're taking class right now, if I was standing beside you, I should be able to see when you get to the top of that press, dumbbell, shoulder, and hip in line. What that's going to do, protect the lower back. When I move that weight forward, ooh, even if you just try this with me right now, extend the arm up, yeah, just do it, no weight. Now pull it forward and lean back. Ooh, you feel that pressure in your lower back. Everything starts to get compressed. So you can stagger the stance, give yourself a wider base, but don't lean back. All right, team, curl those weights up. Second to last set. Here we go. Breathe it out. Control, control, control. If you need to slow this down because you want to focus on that form, I love that for you. Do it. Beautiful. We're halfway there. My shoulders are burning. I know yours are as well. Stay with it, stay with it. Good, we have 3 more. Let's get them together. Final 2 right here. Last one. Can you press it up there? And rest it up. Whew. Go ahead. Listen, I mean it. I'm serious about this. If your shoulders are burning, if you feel like, oh, I'm getting that lean back that he was talking about, I'm starting to dance with it, pause. Make the weights lighter. These are your shoulder muscles. If you are not a stranger to a Coach Clarence class or program, I say this all the time because honestly, I think the obvious things to us, not just in fitness, let's take this off the mat, in life, sometimes the obvious things get lost because we're like, oh, it's obvious, of course I remember this, or of course this is true. But let's pull it back. Smaller muscles should have less weight. Again, for the people in the back. Smaller muscles should have less weight. If you're using your chest press weight, these large muscles on this smaller muscle, you're smarter than that, I know you are. So change the weight if you need it. This is our final one though. Curl the weights up. Let's go for it. Bring it there. Good, think about that form. If you are leaning back, stagger that stance, stagger the stance. Beautiful job. If you need some motivation, or if you need some assistance, Coach Clarence is right here with you. I'm working at the pace that you should be working at. I'm going for all 10 reps. I got 4 more left. Let's do it together. 3 more left. Good, I know it's hurting, but you got this. It's a good hurt, lean into it. Final one. Whew, and safely controlled it back home. Oh my gosh. Drop those weights, roll the shoulders out, breathe it out. I know I'm gonna get some nasty messages from you all about your shoulders burning, which doesn't bring me pleasure to say this to you. Final round, I want you to go ahead, get those weights set up for a push press. What? You're crazy. But listen, we only know what we know, right? So we know that Arnold press was tough. Make the weights light. And listen, even if you need to, just go with the naked, what are these? Dumbbell, feel free. This is 7.5 pounds. I like you, so let's round up. This is 8 pounds. That's perfectly fine. Make this light. Here's what I can tell you. This is our little burnout round that we're doing. You know what we're focusing on in this program. Building strength, but also trying to keep that heart rate in an elevated zone, not zone 5, but we're thinking zone 3. So that not only are we keeping our heart rate up, it's almost like steady state cardio. I should have called this program Steady State Strength. Triple S. Steady. Next program. That'll be part 2. But we're trying to build that strength while our body is burning. It has that caloric high deficit area. I'm saying a bunch of words that mean we're just sweating a lot and we're just building that lean muscle. So get the weight set up. The push press is going to be our only weighted movement here. Remember with the push press, we introduced the legs. So the legs help and assist us to press the weight all the way overhead. It is a powerful movement. So think explosive as you press, controlling it on the way down. We'll start with that push press for 20 seconds. Then we'll move into some air squats, and then we'll get down. We'll introduce the chest back in with some hand release push-ups. So here's the demo for the push press. Not a squat, just a little dip. Drive the weight up, bring it right back down, okay? Grab those light weights. Let's curl them up to the shoulder. 20 seconds. Give me 6 at least. Good. So use the legs. Plant and drive the feet down as you press the weight up and away from your shoulders. Same principles apply as the last press. Don't have the weight in front or behind you. Great job. You got 15 seconds. Drop the weight. Say hello to your legs for the first time in class today. We're going for an air squat. So feet hip distance apart. Big toe face towards me. Drive the knees over the toes as you sit the hips back. Squeeze the glutes out. So I want you to focus on range of motion here. Few options if you like. Take this up on your tippy toes or turn this into a pop squat. But all I need is an air squat, and I'm looking for 90 or better on that range of motion. Good. Big squeeze, rest it up. Bring it down to the ground. We're going for a hand release push-up. Feel free to do these from your knees if your chest is still burning. Control it down, hands come up, press it up. You saw these last week in our EMOM class. Modify if you need it. Here we go. Now for my friends that are modifying, here's what I want you to try. Knees down, right? Control it. When you press up, just come to that high plank just for a second. All we're doing is prepping ourselves for that next stage. Just seeing what it feels like to be on the toes. And rest it up. Oh man, that was like short. It's our first really kind of like almost going into HIIT territory in this hypertrophy training. And my heart rate is already pumping. This is a big thing. As you're resting here, breathe, breathe, breathe. We're gonna go through that 2 more times. One thing I noticed too, and again, I programmed this program in a style that I do daily, weekly. This is how I like to work out. This is how I stay in shape. This is how I love to move. But one of the things I noticed is because I'm someone who is, I've set like I use my watch and I'm like, this is how many calories I want to burn per workout. And in doing so, what I've noticed is when I start with heavy strength first, it almost primes that heart rate so that as soon as I go into an explosive movement, as soon as I do anything that's steady state cardio, then everything just flies off from there. So I'm not surprised that my heart rate's pumping. Hopefully you aren't either. So let's do it a few more times, shall we? Starting with that push press. Press it up, bring it down. Press it up, bring it down. Now with these push presses, this is our only weighted exercise that we have left. You'll notice that every time I press, what's happening? Big breath, good. Excellent job, drop those weights. Continue to breathe. That heart rate is probably in that zone 3, some of you even zone 4, but breathe through this. You can air squat, you can pop squat, you can go squat to tippy toes. Just give me that range of motion. Here we go. Driving those knees over the toes, making sure the knees aren't buckling in, and you're sitting back in a chair. If your heels are peeling off the ground, I want you to think about pulling those hips back more. Good, sit. Sitting on a couch. Sitting on a stool. Sitting in the car. Excellent job. You got 15 seconds. Make your way down to the ground. Option, option, option for my crazy friends out there. At the top of this hand release push-up, you can give me a plank jack. You don't have to do it, but if you want it, take it. Here we go. Even if you're from the knees, this is a great way to introduce that high plank into your push-up. Come up for that, bring it right back down. And you know what's crazy? Still feeling this in my chest. Oh my gosh, It's like this modification is just a modification. And rest it up. Again, breathe. What's the main focus of this program with our breath? There you go, one of you got it. Heart rate variability. What does that mean? Our ability to go through those explosive movements, our ability to go through those high intensity moments in a workout. And then in the rest, because not only are our muscles strong, is our body strong, our mind strong, our heart is strong. So our heart is able to say, all right, calm down, get it there. Again, another off the mat tip, being able to have that, oh my gosh, stress. And then in that moment of stress, say, hey, but I gotta be right here in order to make it through. Dropping gems, team. All right, final time through this. Let's go ahead. Weights up to the shoulders, give it your best. This is our final time with weights in this class. So let's get crazy. Can you give me 7 reps instead of 6? Or if you've already been giving me over 6, can you just add 1 to whatever it is? For good measure, let's start this second week of the program out strong. Big press and drop the weights. You won't pick them up for the rest of the class. Drop them. Again, air squat, pop squat, tippy toes. All I'm looking for, solid range of motion. 90% or more. Ready? Here we go. Good, pulling those hips back. Also keep that chest up. Sometimes I see this a lot, people are looking down at the ground, you know what happens? Shoulders cave in, everything goes towards the ground. Keep those eyes up. Let's get awkward. Let's get intimate. Stare in my eyes. Keep it up. Give me one more. Whew, you're crushing it. All right, friends, final exercise. Bring it down to the ground. If you want it, the plank jack is there. For my friends that are modifying, challenge yourself. Once you come back up, find those toes. Last time through, let's get a tempo. Hands up. Good. Control. We push that chest in round 1. Only makes sense that we end there. Stay with it. Can you give me one more? One more. And rest it up. Whew. All right, team. We only used our legs for the air squat, so they're fresh, which means we're on our feet in 5. We're all on our feet in 4. You got it, 3. Everybody, 2. 1. Whew. Wide stance with those feet. Hands by our side and with intention this time. Big deep breath in. Big exhale out. Great job, everybody. Counterproductive, but take it back down to that. Good job, everyone. Way to push yourselves. Way to stay with it as well, too. We're gonna start this cool down with a nice little child's pose. Just getting those shoulders feeling good. Those Arnold presses. What a cruel joke we played on ourselves. Especially to go right into those push presses. So knees wider than your hips. Pull the hips back towards the heels. And then just allow your chest to try to sink to the mat. As it does, just let those hands stretch out in front of you. Maybe you give yourself a lean to the left. If you lean to the left, give yourself a lean to the right. Still breathing, bringing that heart rate down. Then take those hands as wide as the knees. Lift the hips up. Drop it down. Let's find that upward dog. Oh, any tension in the lower back. If maybe you were having some of that during the Arnold presses or the push presses, just wiggle it out here. Making sure that those shoulders and those ears are not touching. Good. We find a tabletop in 3, tabletop in 2, in 1. Just bring it into a tabletop. We're just gonna do a few bow and arrows just to kind of stretch out the chest. So reach that left hand through to the right. Then try to open up the chest by stacking the shoulders on top of each other. We're gonna do that 5 times at your own pace. Maybe there's an inhale as you reach. Exhale as you extend. Good work. Once you've hit 5 on one side, let's go to the opposite side. Same thing, same pace, same breathing. Good, bringing us back to that round 1. We worked that progressive overload. You will see a little bit more of that in the second week of the program. And team, I know sometimes you get in here and you're like, Coach Clarence, I just want to lift as heavy as I can, get as much work done as I can in this short amount of time. And hey, I get you. You, me, same. I want to do the same too. But I want to teach you some techniques on how to work more efficiently. Go ahead, you can stay down, interlock those fingers, open up the chest, and once you do, roll those shoulders back. If you want to drop the head back and just let that neck roll out, feel free to do so. Again, this entire program, it's not just about moving fast or just trying to jam as much in. You can do that. You might see some results, but if you want to feel good and actually get better results, it's about moving efficiently. Shake it out. And team, 2 things for you. As always, first one, don't forget to put those weights away. Second one, be kind to yourself, be kind to others. You crushed this one today. Thanks for sticking with me. My name is Coach Clarence Intempo. I'm sure I'll be seeing you again soon. Have a good one, everybody.